You gain more by finding and mining a rich mine deeper, rather than shifting frequently. Similarly, when you are looking for sources of power, conserve your energies at their strongest point.
So I have to find the fat cow who will give me milk for ages?
Yes, you should forget those skimpy cows and focus on that one thing, and be the perfectionist in that.
Hold on, there's a history lesson on the menu.
The kingdom of Wu was a growing power, but it wanted to be even greater. So the king decided to go to war with the neighboring provinces of the Middle Kingdom. The war kicked off with great excitement and several victories. Although the armies were winning, but they were also spreading themselves too thin. The chief minister and advisor, Wu Zhu, warned King that the barbarous state of Yue was noticing this problem and had planned to attack. But King Wu, nah, he's too busy laughing off such concerns. And the prediction went right. Barbarians conquered the kingdom. Unable to bear his shame, the king killed himself, covering his face so that he would not have to meet the reproachful gaze of his minister in the next world.
The Wu story is a classic example. Drunk with success and sick with ambition, the Wu kingdom forgot what happens when you dissipate your forces on several fronts. You lose sight of distant dangers. It is almost a physical law. What is bloated beyond its proportions inevitably collapses. The mind must not wander from goal to goal or be distracted by success. What is concentrated, coherent, and connected to its past has power. What is dissipated, divided, and distended rots and falls to the ground. The bigger it bloats, the harder it falls. We are all in a state of total distraction and diffusion, hardly able to keep our minds in one direction.
Oh, multitasking. And solution?
Focus.
In everything?
No, focus on that which has a higher benefit. And by the way, ever heard of the guy named Napoleon? Napoleon suggested to concentrate forces in the enemy's weakest spot, and it was his secret of success on the battlefield. And then we've got Casanova. Whether it was to crack heart of woman or the walls of the prison, his concentration made everything possible. Casanova said,
"When a man gets it into his head to do something, and when he exclusively occupies himself in that design, he must succeed, whatever the difficulties."
In the world of power, you will constantly need help from other people, usually those more powerful than you. And in the process, the fool hops around, thinking survival comes from being everywhere. But the smart trick is sticking to one power source, saving energy and gaining more strength.
Any examples?
The scientist Nikola Tesla ruined himself by belief not sticking to one particular master for the sake of his independence. He even turned down J.P. Morgan, who offered him a rich contract. Later in his life, he realized his mistake. In 16th century, Pietro Aretino left that so-called independence and sticked himself to Charles V. He finally discovered the freedom that came from attachment to a single source of power. Michelangelo found this freedom with Pope Julius II, and Galileo with the Medicis.
How to find that source of power?
You must find out who controls the operations, who is the real director behind the scenes. As Richelieu discovered that, it was not King Louis XIII who decided things, it was the king's mother, and so he attached himself to her and reached all the way to top. If you have too many eggs in one basket, then you are in danger. Think, what if your only source of power ends? For example, what if your master dies, leaves, or falls from grace?
Again, I have to start from zero. Then, solution.
The more patrons and masters you serve, the less risk you run if one of them falls from power. Such dispersion will even allow you to play one off against the other. Even if you concentrate on the single source of power, you must prepare for the day when your master is no longer there to help you. Thanks for being with us through this journey. Just remember, power lies in intensity, not extensity.